Good evening, my YouTube family. Going to make this short but sweet. I know on the last Terror Radio podcast episode, I said I would be taking a 2-week hiatus and returning on the 30th with a brand new season, but I wanted to do something special for my YouTube fans to show my appreciation and to say thank you. Within the last 2 weeks, subscription to my channel has doubled. And I know that's because many of you have posted as well as shared many of my videos. And I am so appreciative of that. So tonight, I am presenting 2 hours of great old-time radio. So welcome to Terror Radio. I'm your host, Keith, aka the Radio Show Nerd. Tonight, the 4 radio series highlighted are The Weird Circle, Lights Out, Escape, and a new one to the series, and this is considered to be one of the best radio shows of all time, The Shadow. Our first radio play is an adaptation of Frankenstein, and this was first broadcasted on February 20th, 1944 on The Weird Circle. Granted, there were a lot of liberties taken in this adaptation, but it's still top-notch. Following that is the radio play Oregon Vacation and Death. Now, this was first broadcasted on Lights Out on May 12th, 1937. But tonight we will be hearing the second version, which came out on June 8th, 1943. After that is the radio play The Man Who Stole the Bible. And this was first broadcasted on May 5th, 1950 on Escape. And we conclude with the radio play The Gibbering Things, which was broadcasted on September 26, 1943 on The Shadow. So you all know the drill. Sit back, turn down the lights, and enjoy 2 hours of madness, terror, and suspense.
Weird circle. In this cave by the restless sea, we are met to call from out of the past stories, strange and weird. Bellkeeper, toll the bell, so that all may know we are gathered again in the Weird Circle.
Of the past, phantoms of a world gone by, speak again the immortal tale, Frankenstein.
The wind howling outside my lonely home is my only companion. All else is quiet here, as I sit by my window in the parlor, writing this document for the scientific world. Be warned, you doctors and scientists who come after me. Be warned that man must not experiment with the secrets of life. My experiences started in the University of Manchester, where I was studying natural history. It was after class, May 22nd, 1818, that Professor Waldman, my close dear friend Henry Clerval, and myself were in the laboratory of the university.
Victor Frankenstein, your persistence amazes me. Someday I shall sit at your feet and allow you to teach me.
Thank you, Professor Waldman. But the whole subject of the structure of man has always been too clouded in mysticism.
Well, frankly, Victor, I prefer mysticism.
Well, that's because you're a mystic, Henry.
Why, Henry's no more a mystic than I am. He just loves to avoid arduous work.
Oh, translating that means I'm lazy, eh, Professor?
Well, if you prefer to put it that way, I rather think of you as a student whose nervous structure does not take kindly to natural history.
The professor's kinder to you than you are to yourself, Henry.
Well, if I worked as hard as you do, Victor, I should probably wear that same gaunt, sleepless look that you carry about.
Well, my experiment will be finished tonight. And then I'll manage the 8 hours sleep that other men manage.
The secret experiment will be finished tonight, huh?
Oh, then will you tell us just exactly what you're doing in the basement at home?
I'll tell the entire world. As a matter of fact, I stayed after class this afternoon, Professor Waldman, to ask you to join me this evening in the basement of our place to watch the completion of my work.
Oh, well, how about me?
I don't think I dare invite more than one, Henry. And the professor is more interested in this type of procedure than you are.
I shall be delighted, Victor.
Just the best friend who never knows what's going on in his own home, that's all.
It's not that, Henry. But I thought you'd entertain Elizabeth for me, while the professor and I were at work.
Entertaining Elizabeth will be a delightful favor, old boy. You know, I think you trust me too much with her. Have you ever met Victor's fiancée, Professor Waldman? She's one of the most charming...
Yes, Elizabeth was one of the most charming, beautiful women I'd ever known. I had been in love with her from childhood, but even my love for Elizabeth couldn't dim my passionate zeal for the work I was doing. It was 8 o'clock that evening. Henry, Elizabeth, and I were seated in the parlor. Elizabeth was saying...
I'll be so glad, Victor, darling, when all this is over. If you only knew how tired you look.
The minute my work is done, successfully or unsuccessfully, I promise you, Elizabeth, we'll be married and off to Switzerland before Henry has time to lock up this place.
But first, we find out about the secret in the basement.
Henry's being eaten up by curiosity.
I don't blame him. I'm suffering pangs of what's it all about, too.
Well, you'll both know soon. I wonder where Professor Waldman is. He's late.
He'll be here soon, Victor. Stop pacing the floor, sweetheart.
I think I'll start my work downstairs. Send the professor down when he arrives, will you, darling?
We'll come down ourselves and take a look around. Or will I turn into a pillar of salt for peeking?
Nobody ever turned into a pillar of salt for peeking, Beth. It was for looking back.
Oh, nothing like a good practical working knowledge of the Bible for scientific experiments. It starts the night off right.
Yes, I thought jokingly of that paragraph from the Bible then. And she was turned into a pillar of salt. But what about a man who looks back? There is no ready reference for him or for me. I went downstairs to my laboratory at a little past 8, opened the door, and started to tinker around to pass the time more quickly. My every sense was alive, taut, waiting, with the sense of what was to come. I heard a knock on the side door, which led me from my laboratory directly into the forest, which bordered Manchester. I looked out and...
Good evening, Victor.
Oh, did Elizabeth tell you to come down this way, Professor?
No, I found the entrance to your laboratory quite by myself.
I help you with your coat, sir?
No. You proceed with your work. Nothing like trivialities to annoy a scientist at work. There we are.
Oh, follow me, Professor, into the back room, and you'll see for yourself what this is all about.
Well, I feel that I'm in for a most exhilarating evening. I wish I had more students fashioned in your mold, Victor.
Well, Professor, here is my...
Why, what's this? A full-sized replica of a man.
Yes, only he isn't full-sized. He's fashioned on a grander scale. I should say this creature standing up would be approximately 8 feet 2 inches tall.
Well, you should have been an artist, Victor. He's a perfect reproduction. What did you make him out of? Wood? Clay?
Animal flesh.
Flesh?
Feel him.
Oh, feels like the body of a dead man.
Or the body of a man who hasn't as yet been brought to life. This body is complete in every detail. Heart, lungs, teeth. Even the fine nervous system.
Oh, it's interesting. Yes, interesting. How about the brain cells?
Yes, adult brain cells. I think he's quite handsome, don't you?
Well, each man to his own taste. He's the best reproduction of a man I've ever seen, but actually his face is hideous. As a plastic surgeon, my dear Victor, I'm afraid I can't give you much credit. Well, what do you intend to do with this hulk.
You see this fluid here in the test tube?
Yes?
I filled the hypodermic needle with it. And now I'm going to inject the full 8 ounces into the vein, directly above his heart.
But why?
Watch. You see, Professor, quite by accident, I stumbled on the secret of life. I've been bringing small one-cell creatures to life for quite some time.
The secret of life?
Within 30 seconds, after this injection, this creature will live.
You're trying to play God, Victor. It's heresy.
It's science. I'm making a new race, by far finer than the present one. Larger in structure, stronger, heavier, healthier. A race able to live on nuts and berries, with a greater capacity for feeling.
Victor, for the love of heaven, don't go through with this experiment. No man living has the right to tamper with the secret of life. You've created a monster on that floor. You've no idea what will happen if you go through with this.
Watch, Professor. The injection.
I only hope and pray this is a failure.
It can't be. His eyes moved. Watch him, Professor. He's like a baby, first realizing life. His hands touch the floor. His eyes are trying to focus on the world around him.
He's hideous.
Yes, he's hideous. I made the skin too much like parchment, I'm afraid.
Victor, get rid of that monster.
He's trying to stand up.
If that mind which you've created is a twisted one, have you any idea what kind of horror you've let loose in England? As a humanitarian, I feel it my Christian duty to do this now.
Put that knife down, Professor.
No, I can't let... Oh, he's got me in the clutch of his hand. Command him to stop this, Victor.
Stop fighting him, Professor. He's frightened. He has the same reactions as a child. Grabs and won't let loose.
Let me go, monster.
Stop! Don't go out that door. Put the professor down. Don't go out that door. The monster left my laboratory through the side entrance into the forest, carrying the incredibly mangled body of the professor with him. I rushed out of my laboratory after him, but the creature was faster than I, and he disappeared from view. I returned to my laboratory and destroyed all evidence of the creature's manufacture. I burned the blueprints from which I had made his body. Then, carefully, I locked my laboratory and went upstairs to join Henry Clerval and Elizabeth. I must have looked wild-eyed as I entered the room.
Henry, that's most amusing. You tell the best anecdotes in all of England.
Oh, you flatter me, Elizabeth.
Oh, Victor, you're through sooner than we expected. Darling, what's the matter?
Didn't the professor show up?
Nothing's the matter. My experiment was a failure.
Oh.
But the professor...
He never showed up. Beth, Henry, I want to go away.
Of course, darling, we will, as soon as Henry can get the house locked up.
I don't want to wait. I want to leave at once. Tonight, please, tonight, Beth. We can get married before we cross the channel and then go to Switzerland.
But it's almost midnight now, darling.
What's the difference? Please, Beth, if you love me.
But why tonight, Victor?
Henry, you've no idea what I've been through. I have to get away at once.
Of course, darling, if you insist. Anything you want.
And we'll be married before daylight. Darling, darling, Beth. I know a little minister whom we can awaken. And so Beth and I were married that evening in a little chapel on the coast. Then the three of us fled to Bern, Switzerland. I refused to have anything to do with the civilized world. No newspapers, no word of home. Just the peace and quiet of the Swiss mountains. Henry and Elizabeth both tried to learn of the events which had occurred in my laboratory that evening. But I never broke my silence on that subject. After the first tries, they refrained from asking me about it again. It was in the middle of the 4th month of our visit when Henry and I were sitting on the terrace of the little house in the mountain. Beth was out picking berries when Henry suddenly...
Victor, I'm your closest friend. I've tried to keep silent about... Well, Victor, the day after we left England, I bought a newspaper.
Did you, Henry?
Yes, I saw this clipping on the front page. I couldn't very well miss it.
What clipping?
This one. The horribly mangled remains of Professor Waldman was found on Beekman Hill. The identity of the unknown murderer is being sought by Scotland Yard.
Poor Professor Waldman. I'd no idea.
Hadn't you?
No. What are you trying to say to me, Henry?
You're leaving England so suddenly that very night. Your fear of being discovered, the secret experiment. Well, it all seemed to add up to some kind of strange connection with this clipping. Now, if you're in trouble, Victor, you can depend on me. I'll stay by your side.
I'm not in trouble. I'm just tired, terribly tired.
And you know nothing of the professor?
Absolutely nothing.
He didn't come to our chateau that evening.
I told you he didn't then. Stop questioning me.
Victor! Victor!
We're out here, Beth.
Oh, I've just had a horrible experience. Oh, darling, I'm so glad to see you.
You're pale, Beth. Sit down right here next to me.
Well, what happened, Beth?
Well, I was walking in the woods not far from here when I looked up and saw... Well, I saw a man. Sort of a man standing over me.
Well, men aren't so bad. That is, if you happen to know the right ones. And you do.
I'm not joshing, Henry. He wasn't exactly a man. He was twice the height of anyone I've ever seen. And his skin looked like dried parchment. It's incredible, but I think I've seen a monster.
Monster?
Yes, I ran away. He didn't follow me. He just stared after me, watching me. You do believe me, don't you?
A monster stared after
you? Look, Henry. Victor, through the trees right out there. Look! There he is again!
Yes, the monster stood there, silhouetted against the trees. The monster which I had created, standing like an evil blot of flesh and bone, moved in the darkening twilight. And then suddenly, phantom-like, it disappeared. Beth and Henry both watched me as I started from the piazza after the disappearing creature in the backwoods. As I drew near to the heavily wooded section, giant footprints in the soft mud about me showed the path ahead. The sun was sinking in the west, and the last orange pinpoints of light needled my flesh until every sense within me was tingling with the expectations of seeing my living horror. Then I realized I was unarmed. Every crooked tree, each twisted branch which obstructed my path, appeared to be his form. I heard the crackling of a branch and the moving of a form on the velvet moss.
I thought you'd come, Creator.
You.
Are you frightened, Creator?
You dare talk to me?
Please, don't turn away from me. Please.
Let me go.
I mean no harm to you. Listen to me, Victor Frankenstein. You must listen to me. You created me. You owe me that much.
I owe you nothing, murderer.
Why am I a murderer? Because you created a form so horrible, a face so distorted, that no man can look upon me and call me friend. I'm an outcast. You can save me.
Let me go.
Not until you hear my story. Sit down, Creator.
My arm! Let me go!
I wandered through the streets of London that first day. Children screamed in the streets. People flocked together trying to kill me. And I was lonely and hungry.
How did you follow me here?
Not so long ago, I returned to my birthplace, the laboratory, broke in and discovered your identity. But first, I fled to Scotland and lived outside of a cottage. That's how I learned to speak. An old blind man was teaching a young French girl to speak English. I listen to the lessons from the open windows.
Now, what do you expect of me?
A companion. A woman of the same species, with my defects. One who will be my friend. This being you must create.
No, I'll not do it.
You must. Every man's entitled to a wife.
No.
You must. If you create her for me, I'll take her with me into the far wastes, and no one will ever see either of us again. Ever.
How will you live?
On fruits and berries. We'll manage together. Please, you can't deny me this.
A maid. A monster's maid.
You will? You will. I swear, I'll never harm another human. Never create her. If you'll only grant me just one companion.
And if I refuse?
If you refuse, even a brain that you have made, creator, might become twisted and distorted.
And so that night in the forest, I made a devil's bargain. I bargained to create a monster's mate, perhaps another murderer. How could I know? The monster swore to live in the forest and wait a year or 2 years if necessary. And upon completion of my work, he would take his companion away. But if I broke my promise, he swore revenge. And so I started work. I searched Paris for the necessary equipment, built a shack in the woods about a mile away from our chalet. 3 months I worked, 3 solid months, shaping her who was to be his mate. And then one night, it was windy outside. I thought the wind had blown the door open when...
Victor, I'm sorry I had to disturb you.
Is it Beth?
No, not Beth. She's fine and sends her love. It's the townspeople. Your activities have stirred up a lot of curiosity.
Oh, the fools!
Well, I can't blame them, especially after the rumors which have been going around. Rumors of the... Victor, you know the monster in these forests. You've known of him all along. People have seen him and connect him with you. Mothers in the village are frightened of their children.
I know nothing.
Look, I'm only trying to help you.
I know nothing, I tell you.
But the men have banded together. They're going to make a raid on you here, to burn your laboratory down, and to find the monster who lives in these woods.
They can't. They mustn't.
Oh, what devil's work are you carrying on, man? I'm trying to help you. Oh, Victor, will you please let your friends be your friends?
Henry, go back to Beth and leave me alone.
Beth is safe at home. You're in danger, and I won't leave your side this night, my friend.
Then be prepared.
Prepared for what?
You've guessed many of the reasons for my secrecy.
Then there is a monster.
At school, I stumbled on the secret of life. I was trying to create a superior race. I was a fool, and I created him instead.
And he does live?
Yes, he lives.
Professor Waldman. What happened to Professor Waldman?
The night I created the monster, Waldman became frightened. He screamed, attempted to kill the creature. The creature, like a child, warded him off and then tore him to pieces in front of me. I couldn't stop him. The monster had killed before it had really begun to live.
Then what?
The monster left the basement through the side entrance, carrying the professor's corpse. I had no choice. I had to leave the country.
Oh, what are you doing with that creature now?
Fulfilling a promise. Follow me into my cabin and I'll show you. How soon do you think the townsfolk will be here?
Oh, within 2 hours or so. They're meeting in the square in town.
Come in.
What? A woman?
Yes, a woman. The monster's mate, his friend. I promised him a friend, and in return he swears to hide himself forever from the world.
A devil's bargain, Victor.
A bargain I must keep for all our sakes.
But the monster proved himself a murderer time and time again. Why, in London after the death of Professor Waldman.
Time and time again.
But how do you know that the mate won't be even more vicious than he? You'll let loose an avalanche of hatred. Oh, destroy her before you bring her to life.
Yes, avalanche of hatred.
Look, you've no time to waste. Set fire to this cabin quickly, Victor. Set fire to the cabin and come away. Why, man alive, you can't go through with this thing.
But the promise.
It's a promise to a fiend. He'll be your death and ours, Victor. Oh, hurry, man, hurry, if you've any love for Beth.
I've been insane with grief and fear for Beth and you. Go back to Beth, Henry, at once and wait for me.
And you?
I'll set fire to the cabin as soon as I destroy my books. I'll join you later.
Well, hurry, friend. We'll meet you home as soon as you can make it.
For 1 full hour, I worked feverishly. I soaked the shack in oil, and then taking a taper from the vase, I lit the fire. The fire started quickly. I placed my books in the very center of the room, and then opened the door of my shack. The experiment was at an end, and I felt free. The monster's mate would never live. I walked out, and then I saw him, his face contorted with rage.
Ah! My wife! My only chance to have a friend! Ah! My only chance!
I knew then what was in his mind as he raced through the forest in front of me. The blazing shack was a beacon of light, and I saw his huge, misshapen form outdistance me, far outdistance me. He was faster than I, taller than I, and covered more territory. Racing, running blindly through the forest, I reached my home. The door of my home was flung open. Henry, mutilated and torn, stumbled blindly toward me.
Victor, the monster.
Henry, what?
I tried to, Victor.
Henry, you.
Beth, no. Upstairs.
Beth, I'm coming, darling, I'm coming. I'm coming upstairs. I'm coming, darling, I'm coming. If you kill her, Beth! Beth, oh, my darling. My darling. Oh, Beth, no. No. Both you and Henry. Both dead.
You too are alone, Creator.
Yes. Both of them were dead. All my dear ones gone from me now. And I'm alone. The wind howling outside my window is my only companion. All else is quiet as I sit by my window, writing this document. I am dying of loneliness and fear, shunned by the world, hated by everyone. I know I am waiting only for the monster's return, and he, having eluded the world, will return when I've suffered my full share of misery, as he has suffered his.
From the time-worn pages of the past, we have brought you the story, Frankenstein. Bellkeeper, toll the bell.
From the time-worn pages of the past, we have heard another immortal tale in The Weird Circle. Bellkeeper, toll the bell. Be here in this lonely cave by the restless sea once again next time for another immortal tale in The Weird Circle.
Ironized Yeast presents Lights Out, Everybody. It is later than you think. Lights Out brings you stories of the supernatural, and the supernormal, dramatizing the fantasies and the mysteries of the unknown. We tell you this frankly. So if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginative plays, we urge you calmly, but sincerely, to turn off your radio now.
This is Arch Obler. A man, a woman, and a small boy arrive in their new home. Happy day. And sometimes not so happy. First, a word from Frank Martin.
Frankly now, friends, are you asking yourself, why should I be losing weight and feel on edge and worn out? Other people feel good and have fun. Well, if more vitamin B1 and iron is all you need, cheer up. Ironized yeast supplies both in pleasant-to-take tablet form at a cost of but a few pennies a day. With ironized yeast and its famous two-way help, great numbers of people who were short on these substances have soon regained glorious strength and energy. Today, these people can really enjoy life. Remember that name, ironized yeast tablets. And now, lights out. Everybody.
$40, $50, $60, and 20 is $80, and 20 is $100. Perfectly correct. $100 rental for 2 months. And now there's the matter of a receipt, of course.
If you don't mind.
Oh, no, not at all, Mr. Cook. Do business in a business-like way is my motto. We're not a very large firm, but service supreme is our motto. Now, what did I do with my receipt book? So careless of me. In this pocket?
Oh, any old piece of paper will do, really.
No. Here we are. I had it in this pocket all the time. I'll just sit down over there and write it out for you.
Well, darling.
Oh, Chuck, it's simply unbelievable.
$50 a month for a furnished Grand Central Palace like this one. Beautiful. There's something wrong on the woodpile someplace.
Your figures of speech are a little mixed, husband. But the fact remains that $100 is the price we're paying.
Yep. Service Supreme over there is making out the receipt with his good left hand, so I suppose it's true. Oh, say, where's the draft exemption?
Sleeping there on the sofa.
Paid himself right at home pretty quickly, didn't he?
Takes after his papa.
Oh, now that's libel. I never curled up in a strange sofa without...
Here's Service Supreme.
Here we are, folks. Here we are. Money received right and proper. I hope you'll be quite satisfied here. Not quite.
Oh, I'm sure we will be. As you can see, our boy has made himself at home already.
Boy? Oh, yes. A cute little fellow. I do hope he'll be quite all right. Quite all right. Yes. Well, I must be getting along. Business, you know. Moving in at once, aren't you?
Well,
yes. You told me you were. Yes. Well, good luck, and goodbye, Mr. Cook. Mr. Cook, goodbye.
Well, wasn't he in a hurry to get out?
Service Supreme until the moment the rent's paid, and then it's exit extraordinary. Well, I'd better go get the things in out of the car, huh? Say, I never thought we'd spend the summer in a mid-Victorian mansion, did you, dear? Dear, I'm talking to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why the pensive look? What are you thinking about?
That's what that man said.
What man? Oh, you mean Service Supreme?
Yes.
Well, what pearl of wisdom did he spout?
Remember when he looked at Billy sleeping there?
Sure.
He said, I do hope he'll be all right.
Yeah, so he did. So what?
The way he said it.
Oh. Say, you'll have to get some help in to clean up this place. Looks like my fraternity house used to after we threw a dance and...
Chuck!
What? What are you staring at?
What are you doing here?
Phew, fella, you startled us.
What are you doing here?
Oh, Chuck, he must be the caretaker the real estate man told us about.
Oh, yeah.
You
sure.
answer me.
Chuck, what's the matter with that man?
What? Look here, old man. You don't have to throw any cat fits. We rented this place from Service Supreme. What's his name? Mr. Hawkins, that real estate man up in town.
Rented?
Sure. Here's a receipt. $100 for the next 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah. Well, I know it isn't much, but that's all the fellow wanted, and so that's all he got. Of course, with all due respect to your caretaker. Oh, you are the caretaker, aren't you?
Yes, Aye.
Oh, good. Then I can speak freely. Well, as I was saying, the rental doesn't seem like much, but after all, big as it is, this is a pretty crummy old place.
Chuck.
Well, it is. And that real estate fellow said there hadn't been anyone living here regularly for 20 years since those people, what's their name, all died. So I figured at the price.
Reynolds.
Huh? What'd you say? What'd you say?
I don't know. I'm frightened.
Reynolds, Mr. and Mrs. and Paula.
Oh, Reynolds. Yeah, they're the people that lived here, aren't they? Mr. Hughes' real estate said something about
Get out of here.
What?
Get out of here.
Chuck.
You hear me?
Now, wait a minute.
Get out.
Wait a minute.
Out. You do not
Wait
belong
now.
here.
We rented
Get
this place,
out of
you know.
here. No one belongs here.
Why?
No one. It is mine.
What do you...
Mine, 20 years,
Now,
mine.
stop waving your arms
Get
around,
out.
old man. Stop
Get
it.
out. You've got
Chuck,
to
make him
go.
stop you.
All
Wake
of
up
you.
Billy.
This
You
place
wake up the
is
dead.
mine.
He's making enough
Mine,
noise,
I tell
dude.
you.
Now,
You've
look
got
here,
to
old
get
man.
out. My house, mine. Nobody.
We
get that.
Chuck, he's sick. Catch him.
Old man. Old man.
Chuck, he's not.
No, just passed out, I guess. Wonder where some water is. We ought to...
He's coming to.
Thought he popped a valve or something the way it was blown off. Give me a hand. We'll put him on that other
Take
sofa.
your hands off of me.
Huh?
Take your hands
Oh,
off
now,
of
look
me.
here, old man. We just want to help you.
Your hands off of me.
Oh, Chuck, help him get out.
No. I am all right. I will live longer than anybody. You will have to get out. You will have to get out.
Hey, now, wait a minute, old man. Can you imagine that, old duck?
Running off like that.
We did get a bargain. A house and entertainment by a cracked nut, all for $50 a month.
But why was he so furious?
Don't ask me. I'm no psychiatrist. Oh, well, let's not let the old crackpot spoil things.
No.
I'll slip him a few bucks in the morning. He'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's wake up that snoozing son of ours and...
Chuck, look.
Huh?
He is awake.
Why, you little rascal, you. How long have you been sitting there watching, young man?
A long time. Where are we, Dad?
I'll tell you, Billy. We're in a great, big, beautiful house where you and I and Father are going to have a good time for the next 2 months. Isn't that good news?
Well, why don't you answer your mother, Billy? Aren't you glad we're going to be staying here in the country?
Dad,
Yes, son.
please, let's get out of here. I'm awful scared.
I wonder if he's sleeping yet.
I'll go see.
Be very quiet, Chuck.
I will.
Well,
Like the proverbial cherub.
Chuck, keep your voice down.
Oh, that air of ours is sleeping so deeply it'll take Sousa's band to wake him up.
Maybe we should have let him sleep with us this one night.
And have him grow up into a lily that falls over the side of his own shadow? Oh, no, Mrs. Cook. He sleeps in that room and likes it. Anyway, he's deep in sleep, so that's that. And here I go. Boy, stretching out feels good. You know, it's going to take at least 2 bands to wake me up tonight.
Lock all the doors
Mm-hmm.
and the windows?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, now listen, honey.
Oh, please tell me.
I am telling you. This house is locked up tighter than a hoosgow. Shutters, doors, everything. I can tell you if that crazy old coot decides to come back to continue his oration, you'll have to use a hacksaw to get in.
I wish it was morning.
Hmm?
You could sort of straighten things out with him. After all, he is the caretaker.
Oh, forget it. We rented the place from the accredited agents, and the old boy doesn't like it. Well, that's too bad. Let's go to sleep.
But, Chuck,
Oh, Anne.
but I want to know,
What?
why should he have gotten so excited? It's been worrying me.
I don't know. Maybe because he thinks we'll mean more work.
20 years alone.
Huh? What'd you say?
I was just wondering why this place hadn't been rented or sold all these years.
I don't know.
Could it be...
What?
Nothing.
Say, are you thinking of... Oh, that's nonsense.
Is it?
Sure. Just because a house is big and old and hasn't been lived in for a long time doesn't mean that... Oh, I tell you, that storybook stuff.
Chuck.
What?
Why did Billy say that he was frightened?
Oh, he's just a little kid.
Well, isn't it possible that young children are closer
To what?
to things that aren't of this world?
And Cook.
I was just thinking.
Well, stop thinking things like that. All the screwy ideas you get in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. Now, come on. Go to sleep. Before you give me the jitters, too. Save the ghost talk for tomorrow morning when the sun's shining. It's a little dark and dismal and weird right now to be talking about ghosts.
Chuck, listen.
Music.
Oh, Chuck.
It's not a radio.
Chuck, I'm frightened. I knew something was wrong here. I knew it. The old man was right. We shouldn't have come here. We shouldn't have. I knew it the minute I saw him. I want to go, Chuck. Please, I don't want to stay here. We shouldn't have come here.
Stop
Please.
it. Stop. So quiet now.
Yes. Oh, Chuck. Did we really hear it?
I felt the floor vibrating. Like it does when the organ plays in church.
It's Billy.
Yeah.
Billy!
He's all right.
Billy.
Hello, Mom, Dad.
There's no one with him.
Oh, Billy. Billy, why are you laughing like that? Why, Billy?
Oh, 'cause I've been having fun. Gosh, lots of fun.
Oh, a dream, son. You mean you've been having a funny dream?
Gosh, no. Not a dream. Isn't my dad funny, old lady?
Old lady? Who did you say that to, Billy?
She wants me to go downstairs with her to listen to the music.
Music?
But I told her I couldn't go. Not unless you said I could go. Can I, Mom? Can I go?
Go where, Billy? Over where?
Downstairs, like I told you.
Billy, listen to me. Who are you talking about?
Son, answer your mother. Who are you talking about? Yes, and why are you staring at the foot of the bed? What are you looking at?
The old lady, Dad. Don't you see her sitting there?
Old lady?
Son.
Gosh. Can't you see her? Funny old lady. You can kind of see right through her.
Ladies and gentlemen, we leave our lights-out story of Oregon for just a moment now to look in on a cheerier scene. It's a sparkling, clean American kitchen. And the lady of the house is saying,
There. Dish is all done. House all cleaned up. Now I can do my victory garden before time to fix the children's lunch.
Where do you get your pep? I'm so worn out these days, it takes me all day just to do my housework. I'm losing weight. I can't eat properly. Even washing the dishes tires me out, and there's no help to be had.
No, we have to help ourselves these days. And that's what I did when I felt the way you do. I found out I needed more vitamin B1 and iron. So I took ironized yeast tablets. They supply both vitamin B1 and iron, you know.
But how could just those two things make so much difference?
That's easily explained. When you don't get enough vitamin B1 from your food, you may lose your appetite, not eat enough to keep up your weight and strength. And when you don't get enough iron from what you eat, you may be weak and pale and all in.
And ironized yeast supplies both vitamin B1 and iron?
Right. So if you're short on these vital substances, don't wait. Go to your druggist this very night and say,
A bottle of ironized yeast tablets, please.
And now back to tonight's Lights Out.
Cold, dear? get this around you. Kind of a wind blowing in from someplace. We should have stayed upstairs.
No. I couldn't stay up in those horrible bedrooms. I couldn't.
All right. Now, don't get upset again. Here we three are, and here we stay until daylight.
Won't it ever get light again?
Oh, now, honey. Just a few more hours. Gosh, kids are wonderful.
What?
Billy. Look at him there. Sleep as if nothing had happened.
He doesn't know that anything did.
Lucky kid. Oh, you just wait until that old son starts doing this stuff. I'm going to turn this house upside down until I find out what...
Chuck.
Huh?
Wait.
Something?
I don't know. I thought I heard something sighing as if... That horrible music again.
It's here. An organ, right in this room.
But where? Where is it coming from? Where?
I don't know.
Oh, I can't stand it. I can't. Don't make them stop it.
Hurry,
Organs
dearest,
playing.
please.
No one
Control
hears.
yourself.
Stop it.
You'll wake up the boy,
Stop
honey.
that.
Mom.
Billy, he's up.
Mom, come to me, Mom.
Yes, Billy. Yes, Billy boy, yes. What is it?
That funny music. Where is it coming from, Mom? I don't know. But, Mom...
It's all right, son. Stay here by me. That's the boy.
Won't it ever stop?
Won't daylight ever come?
I wish we wasn't here.
Chuck, it's getting darker.
It's all right. Just the dark before the dawn. You know.
Dad, it's getting light.
And the music's dying away.
Light. But what a strange light. Anne, is there something wrong with my eyes?
No. I see it, too.
Do you? The wall over there. The light growing on it.
Oh, Chuck, I'm afraid.
We've got to get out of here. Quickly.
Yes.
No. Wait. That wall. The light's gone through it. Beyond it. There's a room there now. A room.
Yes. Yes, I see it, too. Oh, Chuck, what is this?
Mommy, what are you afraid of?
And there's someone sitting in that room.
Yes.
It's a girl. I see her so clearly. And yet, somehow it isn't real, is it?
Look at the way she's dressed. So strangely.
So clear. And yet it's more like a picture on the wall. No depth. The flatness of the picture.
Chuck, look. There's a man coming into that terrible light.
By George, it's he.
What?
Don't you recognize him, the old caretaker?
Yes.
But now he isn't so old.
Oh, get me out of
No,
here.
no, wait. We don't dare go. Not yet. Pictures on the wall, and yet not pictures.
He's going closer to her.
I see it.
Hello, Paula.
He's talking.
Oh.
And yet he hasn't substance, flesh. I know he hasn't.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Elvis.
Yeah,
Pictures
Paula.
talking as if... Am I insane?
No, Mr. Elvis, and Mother doesn't like to have me talk with you.
Because I am a gardener.
Oh, Chuck, Billy.
Don't talk.
Whatever's the reason, Mr. Elvis, you shouldn't come in here when Mother's away.
Bless your mother.
Mr. Elvis,
I say bless her. I've got nothing, so I'm not good enough.
please go.
Your papa, before he died, promised me money. Plenty money for all I did for him.
I'm sorry you didn't leave
Your
it.
mother.
It wasn't in the will. How could she give it to
Your
you?
papa, Mr. Reynolds, he promised me.
Reynolds, they're the people that own this place.
But Mr. Hawkins said they'd all been dead for 20 years.
You would drive me out too, eh?
No, please.
If I had the money your papa promised me, you wouldn't tell me to go. Maybe you would love me.
Don't.
But
Please.
you could love me anyway, Father Reynolds. I make you love me. Make you love me.
Daddy, what is it? Moving pictures?
You frighten me.
The light fading out.
And they're going with it.
What have we seen, Chuck? What?
Wait. The light. It's coming back.
Don't look, Billy boy. Here, put your head against Mother.
Anne, Look. He killed her.
Oh, Chuck.
Standing over her. That horrible look on his face.
Chuck, another woman's coming in,
The mother.
turning toward her. Chuck, he's going to kill her, too.
I can't move.
I want to scream. I can't. Do something, Chuck. He's killing the mother, killing her.
What can I do? I can't move. Gone. The light goes, and they go with it.
But we saw him kill them both, mother and daughter.
Billy didn't see.
No. He buried his head against me so tightly that... Why, Chuck,
What's the matter?
he's asleep.
Asleep.
Yes, so quietly against me. It is as if someone out there didn't want him to see that horror. Only you and I. Oh, Chuck, what was it that we saw? What?
Whatever it was, we're getting out of here. Quick, give me the boy.
Wait.
Who the...
The old man, the one we just saw kill...
The one you just saw, what?
You killed them. How? Why, I don't quite understand. But we saw you kill them. Mother and daughter.
So?
Was it real?
Yes, I killed them both. Yes, I killed them. And why not? The young one gave me no love. The old one no money. He promised me, but when he died, they gave me nothing. Killed them, yes, killed them with my own hands. I killed them.
Chuck, the police.
Yes,
No.
I'm going to...
No police. There were no police then. There will be no police now.
But murder. 2 women.
They know. I know. And now you know. No one else will ever...
What do you mean?
You hear? They understand.
That horrible organ music.
Their music. Night after night since I killed them. Now you know why I didn't want your hair. Now you know why I must kill you.
Kill?
That gun!
Yes, with the gun. Them 20 years ago with my hands. You with this gun.
You crazy...
No, Chuck, he'll kill you. Look out!
Kill you all.
Give me...
Kill you all.
Give me that gun.
And I'll kill
Give me, I tell you. Give me that...
Look out! Chuck.
I'm all right. Dead. I had my hand on the gun, and then it seemed to turn in my hand toward him. As if someone...
I saw.
Billy, is he...
Still sleeping.
Sleeping through all that?
Blessed sleep.
The wall. It's falling out. The wall. There's the organ. The organ that was playing. And women. 2 women sitting at the keyboard.
No, Chuck. Don't go closer.
Oh, no.
Chuck, what is it?
No. I was wrong, Anne.
Wrong.
Not women. Not anymore. 2 skeletons in dresses.
Oh.
I think I know now. He killed them 20 years ago. Then walled up their bodies in there with the organ.
But what we saw, the music, how could it...
Anne, look.
They're crumbling.
Bones into dust. He's dead. Now they can have peace.
Well, Mr. Obler?
Well, Mr. Martin? If you want a rational explanation of the return of the dead, don't expect it from me. I conceive the stories, I write them, but if you want facts, don't expect them from me tonight. I I suggest the Encyclopedia Britannica or, a visit to that old lady around the corner who says she talks with ghosts. As to whether the dead can return, once again I say we don't know, and perhaps it's better that we don't. Which reminds me of the future and reminds me of next week. Have you ever heard of alter ego, Frank?
I don't know what ego is, all right, but what's the alter?
The answer to that after you've had your say.
Friends, if more vitamin B1 and iron is all you need to help you look and feel and act your best, get ironized yeast tablets. Now, there are cases where a rundown condition may be due to other causes. If you have any doubt, by all means consult a physician. But if your trouble is simply vitamin B1 and iron deficiency, remember, ironized yeast has been so successful in so many such cases that it's sold on this no-risk, money-back basis. If you don't begin to eat better, to look and feel much stronger, peppier, and more alive, the cost of the first bottle will be refunded to you in full by ironized yeast, Box IY, Rahway, New Jersey. Now, Mr. Obler, what's that about alter ego? Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that the play you did a number of years ago with Betty Davis, which caused such a furor?
Right. Good memory, Frank. That was a long time ago, and so many of my friends here in Hollywood, including the illustrious Betty D. herself, have asked me to do it again, that we're going to do it once more. Alter Ego, the story of a girl's other amazing self. But that's next week.
Yes, tune in next Tuesday again for Arch Obler's eerie story, Alter Ego. And if you need more vitamin B1 and iron, be sure to try ironized yeast. But remember, there's only one ironized yeast. You'll know it instantly by the yellow and orange package and by the big letters IY on the container and on each tablet.
It is later than you think.
It's only the beginning of the white shoe season, but it's never too soon to start caring for your white shoes to keep them in good wearing condition. So clean your shoes with Energine Shoe White. It's made with the very whitest pigment obtainable, only the very whitest. It spreads over shoes easily, dries evenly, helps keep your shoes looking their whitest and best longer. So buy Energine Shoe White.
Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape, brought to you by the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York and the independent marketers of Richfield gasoline, motor oils, and other petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps.
Tonight, we escape to New Orleans during Mardi Gras, behind the gaiety of which lies a nightmare world of terror and death, as John and Gwen Bagney tell it in The Man Who Stole the Bible.
I didn't mean to steal the Bible. That wasn't my intention. Well, I'd never taken as much as a towel or an ashtray out of a hotel. And if I'd known the night of terror it would lead me into, I'd never have taken it at all. Mardi Gras, New Orleans, a gay time, a lot of laughs, if you're in on it. But me, I was stuck in a stuffy hotel room waiting for a call from the boss. And the sound of all those people out on the street having fun got on my nerves.
Operator.
This is Mr. Cummings, room 302. Whatever happened to that bellhop I sent for?
Would you speak louder? I can't hear you, sir.
I said...
Just a minute.
Operator. Operator.
What was it you wanted?
Look, I want a bellhop. I want him to bring me something to read. Anything. You said half an hour ago he was on his way up.
Hasn't he answered your call yet, Mr. Cummings?
He has not.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. The hotel is so crowded. The Mardi Gras, you know, it's almost impossible. Just a minute.
Hey, look, operator. Operator. No, nuts. I paced back and forth, wishing the boss would call me so I could get out of the room. I didn't dare leave, even to go down and get a paper. He's that kind of a guy. Expects you to be on tap all the time. There was no radio in the room and nothing to read. I went through all the drawers, hoping somebody had left behind a magazine or a seed catalog, anything. And then I found it. The Bible. The Gideon Bible. For years I've seen them in hotel rooms, but I never paid any attention to them. And now I opened the book. 1 Samuel, chapter 19. I lay down on the bed and I started to read. The knock surprised me. I'd forgotten about the bellhop. I got up to go to the door, and I realized I had the Bible in my hand. It's a fine thing when a man feels embarrassed caught reading the Bible, but that's how I felt. Embarrassed. I stuffed it under the pillow, and I went to the door. You sure took your time. Oh.
I'm a house detective. I'm sorry to disturb you.
Well, that's all right. What's the matter?
Well, it seems that the woman who had this room before you lost her pocketbook. She thinks she left it here.
I haven't seen it, but, well, you can come in and look.
Why, thanks. That doesn't seem likely that the maids would have overlooked it, but once in a while something gets left in a drawer.
Yeah, I know.
It's amazing, the things you find left behind in hotels.
Yeah, it sure is.
Oh, no, it's not here. Sorry to have intruded on you.
That's all right.
Good night.
Good night. I lay down again and went back to reading the Bible. Once I got used to the old-fashioned language, I found it pretty interesting. The story of David, anyway. A guy being chased by everybody, not knowing who his enemies were, every minute expecting to get killed. I was down to the part where David's wife puts a dummy in his bed as a decoy to save his life when I was interrupted again. This time I automatically stuck the Bible under the pillow and went to the door.
Hello.
Oh. Hello.
I'm having the most awful time. I've tried and tried, but it just won't work. And the room's so stuffy.
How's that?
The window in my room, it won't open.
Oh.
Would you open it for me?
No, I should. Just show me. Which room is it?
Right next to yours. Just around this corner, room 300. I have the same trouble on buses. The windows never open. It drives me mad. You can see how stuffy the room is.
Mm-hmm. This window?
Mm-hmm. Well, look at that. It opened for you.
Yeah, it did. And easy, too. And so does this one.
I can't understand you.
You're sure you tried?
You don't think I'd come to your door and ask you to come over here if I didn't need something, do you?
Well, it's been done.
I won't argue with that. But now that you're here, wouldn't you like to have a drink? For your trouble, I mean?
Oh, no, I don't think I
can. You
can.
can watch the parade much better here than on your side of the building.
Oh, no, I can't.
What's the matter?
Oh, sorry, I have to go. That's my phone.
Wait, don't go. You can have the call transferred here. But it's silly to go all the way back to your room.
Hello, Cummings. Oh, yes, sir. I've been waiting for your call. Now, listen, I've covered the whole territory down here, and things look pretty healthy. You see, the main difficulty has been that... I stared at my briefcase. I'd left it on the dresser. Now it was on the bed. And everything had been pulled out of it. The closet door was ajar. The drawers in the bureau were open. My Gladstone apparently hadn't been touched, but everything else had. I talked with the boss about trends, business conditions, but my mind was on a girl who wanted a window open. A window that wasn't stuck while somebody searched my room. Calmly, I finished my conversation and hung up. There was no reason now for me to stay in the room. I gathered up my stuff, and I took the Bible from under the pillow. Funny. I had gotten interested in it. I wanted to go on reading it, so I stuck it in my top coat pocket and walked out of the room. On my way to the elevator, I got a sudden impulse. I stopped in front of room 300 and knocked. Where's the...
Nobody here now, mister. The lady checked out.
Oh, but that's impossible. I was just here.
I don't know anything about that, but she checked out a couple minutes ago, and I've got to clean up after her right now. I'm going to be glad when Mardi Gras is over. Everybody goes crazy. Hotel goes crazy. People check in, check out. They steal everything that ain't tied down.
Steal?
Yeah, I said steal.
Strut, boy. Well, all those bellboys, I swear, I'll go out of my mind. Oh, checking out, Miss Cummings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me see. You were in room...
302.
302?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, what's the matter?
I've had so much trouble over that room. I was supposed to hold it for a lady, but you can't keep rooms vacant during Mardi Gras. I gave her the room next to yours, but she checked like crazy to the manager.
Next to me?
Yes, room 300. She checked out just a few minutes ago.
I don't know what this is all about, but there's something peculiar going on in room 302.
Peculiar?
I didn't mind the house detective coming in to look for the purse, but I didn't like having my stuff searched while I was out of the room.
Search?
Yeah, I said search.
You say the house detective did that?
He said the woman who had the room before me left her purse.
Oh, but that's impossible.
Well, what do you mean?
A man had the room ahead of you. Oh, yes, I'm positive of it. Just a minute. I got the register right here. I'll tell you. Yes, a man, a Mr. Gregory. The house detective isn't on duty today, but when he comes in tomorrow, I'll tell him that...
He's not on duty. Well, then what was he doing in my room?
Today?
Of course, today, tonight. A tall guy with black hair.
He came in... some mistake, Miss Cummings. Our house detective, Mr. St. Clair's his name, is short and bald, and he hadn't been in the hotel all day. He's homesick.
It had the makings of an interesting little intrigue. But I left the mystery of room 302 with the room clerk and went to the cigar stand. It was 8 o'clock. My train wouldn't leave until midnight.
Yes, sir. What'll it be? Cigarettes or cigars?
Cigars. 3 Coronas. No, make it 6.
Always like to sell cigars. Men don't smoke cigars like they used to. Cigarettes, that's the fashion today, but give me a good cigar every day.
Sounds like somebody's having a good time.
Oh, they all have a good time during the carnival.
Say, I wonder where I could check my bag and briefcase for a little while.
Oh, going to see the parade?
Yeah, I thought I would. Mill around a little bit. I've got a couple hours to kill.
Well, I'd be glad to keep it for you. I'm on duty till midnight.
Oh, would you? Well, that's mighty nice of you.
Oh, don't mind it at all. Mardi Gras is something to see. You shouldn't miss it. But you'll have more fun if you rent a costume. The hotel's got them for rent, you know.
No, thanks. I'll go as I am. He stuck my stuff under the counter, and I elbowed my way across the crowded lobby to the street door. Through the glass, my eyes met the eyes of another man, a tall man with black hair, the man who said he was the house detective. I swung the hotel door open. I had a few questions I wanted to ask that boy, but he was swallowed up in the crowd. And then a big hand clapped me on the shoulder, and a voice boomed in my ear.
There you are, sinner.
I whirled around and looked into the mask of a laughing, red-faced devil.
Don't try to evade me, sinner. I've come to collect you my nice shiny pitchfork. And when the devil comes for you, your time is up.
All I could see in the mask were a pair of eyes. They were gray eyes, and they were laughing. And the devil threw his arm around my shoulder and urged me along the street.
Come on!
I balked a little. I hadn't had anything to drink. The whole thing seemed kind of silly. But before I knew what happened, a clown grabbed my other arm.
Let's take the sinner to the fiery furnace.
And the two of them, the devil and the clown, were propelling me down the street into a car.
Come along, sinner.
Fiery furnace. Hey, wait a minute, fellas.
Oh, the sinner is reluctant. Push him in, clown.
Hey, now, look.
Get in, sinner.
Hey, you guys. Hey, let me out. Look, where are we going?
All right. Let's have it.
Have what?
The Bible. The Bible you took out of room 302.
The Bible? You're not drunk.
Don't waste time on him. Frisk him.
Look, I don't know who you are, but you can't...
You haven't got it on him. What'd you do with it? Where is it?
I told you. I haven't got it.
Oh! That's to let you know we're not playing. Now, let's take it again. Where's the Bible?
I tell you, I haven't got it. I had it, but I guess I lost it.
Lost it? Where'd you lose it?
I don't know. Why, you...
Don't do that, sinner. It's just as easy for me to pull this trigger as to look at you.
But I'm telling you the truth. I haven't got it anymore.
All right, you haven't got it. But you tell me where it is, you understand, if I have to carry you to find out.
Hey, what are you stopping for?
Well, can't you see? The crowd, I can't get through.
Oh, come on. Let's get moving. Get on out of here.
Oh, what do you want me to do? Drive over him?
Look, fellas, a shortcut.
A bunch of revelers, drunk and out for beer, opened the back door of the car and started climbing over it. Nothing would stop them from weaving through. They thought it was fun, pushing and shoving each other. One of them fell, sprawled across the devil's lap, and they began to pile up. And suddenly I knew this was escape. I climbed out of the car. I ran blindly away from them. I saw a cab at an intersection. I ran out. I opened the door and... there he was, in the back seat. The phony house detective. I slammed the cab door and bolted across the street. There was a policeman on the corner directing traffic. I ran up to him.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Hey, look, they're trying to kill me. You gotta help me.
Kill you? Who's trying to kill you?
The devil. He's after me.
The devil, you say?
Yeah, and the clown, too.
Oh, not Mickey Mouse?
No, I mean it. I'm serious.
You're drunker than you look.
I haven't had a drink, I tell you. They're trying to kill me.
Why would they be doing that?
Because they want the Bible.
The Bible?
Yeah, look, you see, I stole the Bible. And here they come now.
Who?
The devil and the clown across the street. You've got to get me out of it. You've got to stop them. They'll kill me.
Yeah, sure. Now, take it easy, young fella.
Oh, there you are, Skinner. Come on. What are you trying to do? Get us in trouble?
Trouble? Sure. He's going to miss the party.
Look, it's all a trick. Don't listen to him.
This young fella claims you're trying to kill him.
Me? Oh, no, not me. But if he doesn't get to that party pretty soon, his wife will kill him.
I haven't got a wife. There isn't any party. They're lying, I tell you. They're lying.
Oh, now be good, boys. Go someplace else and settle your squabble. I got to keep this traffic moving.
Please, officer.
Oh, now you heard what the policeman said. Come on, Skinner.
Let go of me, officer.
Oh, bear it now. Go on now, here.
I demand to be arrested. I demand it.
Go on now, I said. Now, go on.
Officer, you're a fool. You're a fool.
If it wasn't for this Mardi Gras, I'd run you in right now.
And you won't arrest me? Okay, but remember, I didn't want to do it. Oh.
That does it. Striking an officer. All right, fella. You're under arrest.
Xylene. That's a word to remember, for xylene is one of the highest octane gasoline components known to science. And xylene benefits you when you buy Richfield gasoline. Because today, every gallon of Richfield gasoline contains xylene. That's right. Xylene in Richfield gasoline helps give your car that high anti-knock performance. That swift surge of power when you step on the accelerator. That smooth as silk action along the highway. Furthermore, your Richfield dealer offers you a choice of 2 great Richfield gasolines with xylene. Richfield Ethyl for best results in the highest compression motors. Or Richfield High Octane at regular price for the average motor. Each Richfield gasoline is tops in its class. Each contains xylene. For the finest performance at lowest cost per mile, let your Richfield dealer help you select the right Richfield gasoline to fit your motor's power requirements. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pups. And now we return you to Escape.
I sat in the drunk tank in the New Orleans jail and tried to figure it out. Who were the devil and the clown and the phony house detective? Why was the Bible so important that they would even kill me to get it? My bags were back at the cigar counter in the hotel. My train was scheduled to leave at midnight. But how was I going to get out of New Orleans? Already it was 10 o'clock, and as long as I stayed in jail, I would be safe. But even that didn't last long. I hadn't been there half an hour when a cop came for me and took me to the desk sergeant.
Here's your personal belongings, come. As you're released, you can go. But try to behave yourself. We're pretty busy tonight.
Release?
You know, you're a lucky guy. Culpepper decided not to press charges against you. You know what you could get for striking an officer.
But, all right. Aren't you going to hold me?
Well, your fine's been paid. Now go on, get out of here, and keep out of trouble, will you?
Oh, but I am in trouble. That's what I tried to tell the cop, but he wouldn't listen to me. I had to hit him. My fine? You said somebody paid my fine?
That's right. It's been paid.
But who? Who paid it?
I don't know who it was. He didn't give a name. He just paid it.
Was it a man in a devil's costume?
Huh?
Or a clown?
Now, look.
Well, what did he look like?
How do I know what he looked like? He was an ordinary-looking guy. Tall, big, had black hair.
The house detective.
The who?
They'll kill me, I tell you.
Monsieur, mais je suis perdue. Je voudrais retrouver le couvent.
I hadn't heard her come into the station. She moved so quietly. She was a nun, and she was talking excitedly in French. I wasn't paying much attention to her. I was thinking instead of my own problem. The house detective had paid my fine. He wanted me out of jail. He wanted me loose on the street. Why? And the devil and the clown. Were they with him? Were all of them waiting outside that door for me?
Well, please, sister, I wish I could help you, but I can't understand a word you're saying.
Monsieur, les gens dans la route m'empêchent de trouver mon chemin. Ils me prennent pour un des célébrants.
English. Can you speak English, sister?
Oh, pardon, monsieur. Masquerade. Costume. The people think masquerade. No masquerade.
Huh?
I think she's trying to say the people on the streets think she's wearing a masquerade costume.
Merci bien, monsieur. I am loose.
You mean lost?
Oui, monsieur. Lost. I am expect at convent, the Vieux Carré.
The Vieux Carré? Oh, that's in the French Quarter.
Exactement, oui.
Mm-hmm.
I try for taxi cab. The crowd, how you say, push me around. Pouvez-vous envoyer un de vos gendarmes?
What?
A gendarme. She wants you to send a policeman to help her to get to a convent.
Oui, monsieur.
I'm sorry, sister. I'd be glad to, but I don't have anybody in right now. If you don't mind sticking around for a while, I'd be very...
Sticking around?
The sergeant, the prefect... He says he's sorry. If you will wait, there is no one available right now to help you. Wait a minute. The nun stood there, frightened and bewildered, out of place in the police station. But for me, it was a miraculous break. Sure, I could walk out of that police station with her. And if they were waiting outside, waiting to get me, I could walk right by them. They wouldn't dare touch me as long as I was with a nun. I could take her to the convent, and once there, I'd be safe. I'll take the sister to the convent, Sergeant.
It's okay with me if it's okay with her.
Merci, monsieur. Merci mille fois.
As we walked out of the police station, I took her arm. To help her? Yes. But also to steady my own fear. Any minute I expected to see one or all of them, the devil, the clown, the house detective. But they weren't in sight. There were people milling about on the street, but not the three I feared, and strangely, not finding them there frightened me more than ever. I found a cab and gave the driver the address of the convent. The nun and I didn't try to talk. I realized this whole thing was difficult for her, and I didn't feel like talking. Too much had happened to me for one night. The cab pulled up in front of an ancient building in the French Quarter. Crumbling cement and wrought ironwork. And we got out, and I walked with her to the big front door. The nun raised the knocker, and I knew I'd been had.
What is wrong?
Fingernails. Red, polished fingers. You're not a nun.
Well, it's...
Hurry, boy, get him and his wife.
It was the devil and the clown. They yanked me into the house. And the girl, I stared at her. Back in the police station, I hadn't really looked at her face. Her black robes had spelled freedom to me. That's as far as I had thought. But now I knew I'd seen her before. Only before, she had worn a green dress and a scarlet mouth to match her fingernails, and her hair had been blonde and long. And she wanted a window open. A window that wasn't stuck.
You've given us a lot of trouble.
Look, I'm sorry.
We've been very patient. Now we want the Bible.
I told you before, I don't have it.
You had it?
Yeah, I had it. I took it. I don't know why I took it, but I lost it.
All right. Who sent you to get it?
I'll handle him. All right. Who you working for, Poloni?
Look, there's some mistake. I'm a salesman. I sell washing machines.
You're lying.
Look, I tell you.
Where's the stuff? Has Poloni got it?
What stuff? I don't know any Poloni. What are you slapping me around for? I won't get you any Poloni.
Let me talk to you. Look, if you're lying for Poloni.
Who's Poloni? I don't know any Poloni.
Poloni wouldn't take a beating for you.
Oh, look, I tell you.
Whatever he's paying you, we'll pay you more.
We'll pay him nothing. You hand over that Bible or tell us where the dope is stashed, or so help me, I'll kill him.
Dope? So, that's what it is.
soap. Yeah, Mr. Innocent. That's what it is. Dope.
Stop it. You kill him, we'll never find us. Listen to me. What's your name?
Cummings.
You work for Poloni, Cummings. Nobody but Poloni knows about that Bible.
Oh.
You came to hijack the stuff.
No, I tell you, I don't know Poloni.
Stop lying. Poloni knew our carrier was hot, that he had to drop the stuff somewhere in New Orleans.
Oh, you're wasting time, baby. I'll make him talk. You going to talk? I don't. You want the butt of this gun right across your face? Look, you've got to believe me. He hit me with the gun. I tried to keep my eyes open, to hang on to consciousness. Across the room, I saw the door open, and in it stood a man with another gun. A big man with black hair, the phony house detective. Was his name Poloni? That was as I passed out. I don't know how long I was out. When I came to, I was lying on a bed. My head was throbbing, my cheeks, my nose, every bone in my body seemed to ache. There was a cold cloth on my eyes. I tried to think, why did I hurt so? Oh, yeah, the Bible.
All right. Let's not waste any more time. What did you do with the Bible?
Where are the others?
They've been taken care of. Look, you took the Bible that belongs in this room. Now, what did you do with it?
This room? Oh, yeah. Room 302. What am I doing back in the hotel?
You had no right to touch that Bible. Now, think what you did with it. Where is it?
Look, I told him. I must have lost it. I don't know.
I'll get it.
Yeah? You're the gentleman who left the suitcases with me, Mr. Cummings?
Suitcases? Come in. Who are you?
I run the cigar stand in the lobby. I saw you bring Mr. Cummings in this way. If you don't mind my saying so, quite tight.
Yeah.
I'm going off duty in a little while, and I thought he'd need his things. You see, he checked them with me.
Thanks.
Oh, I almost forgot it. Here's his book.
Oh, no, don't leave the book.
Oh, but you forgot it.
No, I don't want the book. You can have it.
I'll take the
book.
No,
don't give it to him.
Thanks for your trouble.
Oh, don't mention it. Hope he feels better tomorrow.
Well, at last, the Bible. You will die tonight.
Look, Poloni, I didn't know. I swear, I
Poloni?
took it.
Look, I'm not Poloni. That's a pretty clever stunt, covering the Bible with a whodunit jacket.
Well, I only took it because
Let's see. Third book, second chapter.
What?
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, chapter 1, 2.
But...
Yes, here's the address of the warehouse where the stuff is.
I don't understand. If you're not Poloni, who are you?
Huh? Oh, John Spang, United States Treasury Department, Narcotics Division.
T-man. But I thought
you made my job very difficult tonight, Mr. Cummings. We traced the narcotics carrier all the way around the world to New Orleans, to room 302. But when we arrested him, he was clean. He didn't have the evidence. Room 302 was the link. That girl, Frenchie, was to take this room, and I would have followed her here to where the evidence was stashed. It was as simple as that, but you stepped in and threw us all off.
Oh, why didn't you tell me you were a government man when you came in tonight to look for the pocketbook?
How did I know that you weren't a new member of the gang? Look, take my advice, Mr. Cummings. Quit stealing things out of hotels.
Oh, look, I never stole a thing in my life. This is the first time.
You know, there's one thing that I can't figure out. Why did you steal a Bible?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but honest. I just wanted to finish the story.
Attention, baseball fans. Here's a new book you won't want to miss. The new Richfield Baseball book, hot off the press. Its 32 pages are jam-packed with facts on America's favorite sport. You'll find Major League schedules, many minor league schedules, World Series box scores. You'll find a special baseball quiz you can try on your friends. You'll find seating diagrams of leading stadiums, plus dozens of other fascinating facts on the country's #1 sport. And this Richfield baseball book doesn't cost you a single red cent. It's free. Ask the Richfield gasoline dealer for your free baseball book tomorrow. Ask him, too, about Richfield All-Point Safety Service, a special service that will save your car trouble this spring. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pump. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson and has tonight presented The Man Who Stole the Bible by John and Gwen Bagney. Featured in the cast were Rick Fallon as Cummings, Nanette Boardman as the girl, Ben Wright as the house detective, Will Gere as the devil, Lou Merrill as the clown. Also heard were Mary Shipp, Harry Bartell, Peter Leeds, and Paul Frees. Special music was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You are tearing across the Nevada desert in a 200-horsepower Bentley Maximus, pursued by the implacable avenger of the left arm. Beside you is the man they are seeking to destroy, your companion in an adventure from which there is no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape with the story of a foreign spy who sought to renounce the left arm and become once again an American citizen. As Hildegard Tylett tells it in her exciting new novel, The Rim of Terror. Be listening. Goodbye then until the same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
What evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.
Once again, your neighborhood blue coal dealer brings you the thrilling adventures of The Shadow, the hard and relentless fight of one man against the forces of evil. These dramatizations are designed to demonstrate forcibly to old and young alike that crime does not pay. Friends, here's a very important way that you can help the war effort. You know, it's coal that keeps our war plants humming. Coal that keeps our trains moving. Coal that heats our soldiers in army camps. Yes, coal that supplies vital power and heat to countless wartime activities. So you can make an invaluable contribution to the war effort this winter by cutting your coal consumption to the absolute minimum. Start your personal coal conservation program this simple way. Hold your fire. Don't let the first chilly snap send you down to the furnace. Use the fireplace. Wear warmer clothing. Wait 2 or 3 weeks later than usual before starting your furnace. The coal you save now will help the home front and the war front, and it will help you keep warmer in the really bitter months to come. The Shadow, mysterious character who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. Several years ago in the Orient, Cranston learned a strange and mysterious secret, the hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so that they cannot see him. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible shadow belongs. Today's drama, The Gibbering Things.
Well, nature puts on quite an autumn show up here, Margot.
Yes, doesn't it, Lamont?
Yeah. All New Hampshire's pretty country at any season, folks. Are we nearly at our destination, driver?
Almost. About 1.5 miles more, and we'll be at the Haunted Woods.
Huh?
Haunted Woods?
Yes, sir. The place you've hired me to drive you to is just this side of them.
Oh, Aunt Susan never told me that she lived near any haunted woods, Lamont.
Miss Susan Prentice, your aunt, ma'am?
Yes, Mr. Cranston and I are going to spend the weekend with her.
Oh, that'll be a fine rest for you.
Well, those haunted woods don't sound quiet or restful.
Well, they won't bother you none. Leastwise, I've never been bothered in them. Neither was your aunt or Professor Surgoff. who lived smack in the center of them.
Why are they called the Haunted Woods?
Well, it's said that quite a few fellas have gone into them woods and completely disappeared. There was 2 lumberjacks and 4 or 5 harvest hands. Shucks, I figure they simply walked into the woods on one side and out the other.
Your logic is spoiling a nice mystery, driver.
Oh, I figured a natural explanation for the gibbering things, too.
The gibbering things?
Ever so often, the doggonedest noise is heard from them woods. A funny, squeaking, chattering kind of noise. Don't sound like it was made by either man or beast. The folks say it's made by things.
You figured that it's not made by things?
Mister, that gibbering noise is made by monkeys.
Monkeys?
In New Hampshire.
Yeah, Professor Sergoff's got a couple at his place that he's brought up from South America. I admit I don't know how their squeaky little voices can be heard so far away from the professor's house, but them monkeys is the only natural explanation.
Are those the haunted woods ahead of us now?
Yes, that's them.
Heavens.
What's that?
Something screamed in those woods.
Yes, that was just an old screech owl. There it is again.
Well, screech owls don't make their home this far north. They must have been brought up here like the monkeys you mentioned.
That's right. It's another pet of Professor Sergoff's. Here's Miss Prentice's place.
Oh, Lamont, what a lovely little house.
I'll get your luggage out the back.
Here, let me help you, Margot.
Thank you.
Step directly on these flagstones. Ground's pretty wet.
We had some thunderstorm today. Started early this morning and pulled down telephone wires and raised all kinds of nests.
That's so?
Really? Yes. Why, I'd like to wait and say howdy to Miss Prentice, but as long as I'm out this way, I want to drop off a package at Professor Sergoff. It's getting late, and I'd like to be in and out of them woods before dark.
Not because of the gibbering things?
Well, shucks, no. Just that the road through there is pretty terrible. A fellow wants daylight to get over it. I'll stop off on my way back from the professor's, see if your aunt wants anything fetched from the village, my next trip. So long.
So long.
You never told me your aunt was deaf, Margot.
Deaf? Well, she isn't.
Well, she can't be at home then after this noisy arrival in front of the door.
But it is funny that she hasn't... Aunt Susan! Aunt Sue!
Are you sure she expected us today?
Oh, of course. Oh, the door's unlocked. Let's go in, Lamont. She must have stepped out for a moment.
For a long moment. Let's have a look around. You take a peek at the kitchen.
All right.
Everything here's tidy, shipshape, and deserted.
Well, the kitchen door's been left unlocked.
Well, evidently your aunt didn't intend to be gone very long.
Well, what do you suppose has happened to her?
Oh, chances are your aunt left here this morning to pay a brief call to some neighbors, and she was forced to stay there by the storm.
I was beginning to think Aunt Sue had been swallowed by those gibbering things in the haunted woods.
We have Mr. Doremus' assurance those gibbering things are vastly overrated.
What's that?
Now, listen.
It's the gibbering from those woods.
It's from deep in the woods. Doesn't sound like the chattering of any monkey that I've ever heard.
Lamont! Could that be the screech owl again?
That cry sounded human.
It's like a scream of mortal terror. Lamont, we've been waiting almost half an hour now for Aunt Sue. She'd be here by this time if she were all right.
Phone's still dead. The cab driver hasn't come back yet, and it's nearly dark. Let's go outside again and watch for him.
All right. He said he wanted to be out of those woods before dark. Come on, that gibbering again.
It's much closer than before.
Seems to come from just the edge of those woods.
And the professor who keeps monkeys lives nearly a mile from here.
It's growing fainter now. Traveling away.
Margot, look here.
What?
On the earth of this flower bed.
Tiny footprints. Well, they've been made by a barefoot child, a baby. Since the rain. How did the baby get out here?
These prints were made since I was looking around this garden only a few minutes ago. And their sole resemblance to a baby's is their size. Look closer. No child could walk upright on feet that left these impressions. They're deformed.
Yes, I see now.
So whatever made the footprints didn't walk upright very far. Here it dropped on all fours.
Those are prints of little hands. But only 2 fingers are outlined. And what horrible thumbs. These tracks were left by some animal.
But what kind of an animal? I never saw a spoor like this before.
Oh, neither have I. Look, they disappear here in the grass.
Margot, someone's coming out of the woods.
A man? What's he got on his head? It's getting so dark I can hardly see him.
I think it's a helmet of some sort. He's carrying a net.
A net?
It looks like it. Seems to be hunting for something.
Hello there. Hello. Who are you?
We're about to ask the same question.
My name is Sergov. Alexander Sergov.
The Martino. I'm Margot Lane, Miss Prentice's niece, Professor.
Miss Prentice's niece?
Yes, and this is Mr. Cranston. We just arrived to spend a few days with Aunt Susan, and she's not here.
I have not seen Miss Prentice for several days. Was she expecting you and Mr. Cranston?
Yes, she was.
Professor, if I'm not too inquisitive, what do you hunt with a net at this time of night?
I keep a small zoological collection, Mr. Cranston, and one of my little animals escaped this afternoon, and I was searching for it with my net.
A dangerous animal? I see you're wearing heavy gloves.
It was a small ape with sharp little teeth that can, what you call, nip very painfully. Perhaps you heard it chattering in the woods a while ago.
We heard something gibbering in there.
That was my little pet.
Does it malform hands and feet, Professor? Does it leave tracks like this?
You did not see it leave those tracks?
No, we found them by accident a few minutes ago.
The creature I'm searching for is not a perfect specimen. These tracks are fresh, which means that it is close by, and I am most anxious to recapture it, so if you will please excuse me. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, at least we've learned what's behind those footprints and that gibbering.
I'm still wondering if that was a screech owl we heard soon after Doremus left his house.
What for, Lamont?
I'm going to get a gun and flashlight out of my bag and do a little hunting of my own in these woods.
But...
where's the light switch?
Here.
Oh, thanks.
Lamont, the gibbering again.
It's just outside the house.
We know it's only a crippled ape that...
Margot, what?
The face at the window.
Where?
It's gone now. But it was pressed close against the glass. It had no features, Lamont, except eyes. And a toothless mouth. It was the face of the gibbering thing. Lamont, turn your flashlight on those trees as well as on the road. That gibbering thing may be in these woods.
As I'm watching, Margot. There's only one set of tire tracks on this road, so Doremus traveled it only one way. You sure, Margot, that the face at the window had no features?
It was just pink, bald flesh with tiny pig-like eyes and grinning, toothless gums. What could it have been?
If you weren't having a nightmare, I don't know. Good Lord, look there.
Doremus's cab turned on its side.
Come on.
There's Doremus. Oh!
He's been thrown from his cab against that rock.
His head's all crushed. Oh, Lamont.
Strange. There's no blood around the wound.
No blood.
Someone or something has washed it absolutely clean. Look at his throat. Big bruise mark.
His fall from the cab didn't do that.
No. Looks as though some terrific suction had been applied by something like a giant leech.
That thing with the toothless mouth. Lamont, you've got to find out what that gibbering monster is. It may have killed Aunt Sue as well as Doremus.
Come on back to your aunt's house. After I see you locked safely inside, Professor Sirgoff is going to receive a visit from the Shadow.
Why are you so worried, Professor?
What? Who is speaking to me? I cannot see anyone.
I'm the Shadow.
The Shadow? An invisible man?
A little secret I learned in the Orient.
What do you want here?
I shall ask the questions. First, did you find the small ape you were hunting for?
You know that I was hunting...
The Shadow overheard your conversation with a Miss Lane and a Mr. Cranston a while ago. Did you find the ape?
Yes.
What did you do with it? I visited the cages where you keep your pets and found no crippled monkey there.
I was forced to shoot the animal. I buried it in the woods.
After it had gorged itself on the blood of Doremus?
Doremus?
You didn't know he was lying dead in the woods?
No, I swear I did not, Shadow. I had nothing to do with it.
But you know what killed him?
No.
Don't lie. You also know the reason for Susan Prentice's disappearance.
I do not.
Her absence will cause an intensive search.
She will not be found here. This is a small house. Nothing could be concealed in it. Search it yourself.
Luck has been with you so far, Professor. If telephone service hadn't been disrupted by the storm, the authorities would already have been notified and the search begun. The luck of criminals is never good for long. Your time is running out. The police will find the body of Doremus, and they'll be told about a squealing monster with a horrible toothless mouth.
What?
The gibbering thing has been seen tonight. Now you must think and act fast, Professor. You must think and act faster than the Shadow.
Friends, if you heat your home with coal, listen. Here's some important good news. Your friendly neighborhood blue coal dealer is happy to announce that he already has available, on a first-come, first-served basis, a small supply of automatic heat regulators to aid in the urgent coal conservation program. Now listen to what an automatic heat regulator does. It takes full charge of your furnace operation, giving you a constant, even temperature day and night. It eliminates those wide swings in temperature when it's always too hot or too cold. It saves you those incessant trips to the basement when you try to control the temperature yourself. It helps protect your family against winter colds, which many doctors agree result from overheating or unstable temperatures. And most important, it saves coal vital to the war effort and money for you. An automatic heat regulator costs little to begin with and soon pays for itself in fuel savings. Don't wait for the first freeze. There are just a few automatic heat regulators available. So act now. Call your friendly blue coal dealer and place your order tomorrow. And now, back to the Shadow.
Lamont, did Professor Seargolf tell you anything when you visited him as a Shadow?
I didn't expect him to, Margot. The Shadow's purpose was to force Sergolf into some revealing action. I'm confident that he'll make that action before morning, but I'm taking no chances. I'm going to leave you again now and go back into those woods.
Why?
Professor Seargolf doesn't confine his activities within the limits of his small home. I'm going to discover, if I can, where he carries on his major studies.
Let me go with you, Lamont.
No, I want you to stay here. Lock yourself in the house and don't leave it. I expect to be gone for some time.
Oh. I expect to be gone for some time. Fine. Screech owl. What's that? Back door. Who's there? What do you...
Good evening, Miss Lane.
Professor Seargolf.
When one locks a glass panel door, the key should never be left in the lock. It is so easy to break the glass, reach inside, and turn the key.
Why have you broken in here?
I just saw Mr. Cranston go into the woods, and I considered this an excellent opportunity to talk with you alone.
That gun.
This gun will do you no harm if you're obedient. You and I are going for a little walk, Miss Lane, and you are going quietly.
Where are you taking me through these woods?
You'll soon learn. Here's our stopping place.
There's nothing here but trees and that big rock.
Yes, watch that rock.
It's swinging out like a door.
It is a door to a very secret natural cave below. Ladies first, Miss Lane.
I won't go down to that darkness.
You need not go in darkness. We have electric light here. Step in, Miss Lane. I wish to close my bulky door.
No, I...
Do not try my patience. Go.
Oh.
Now, down these stairs. And you can see my little refuge.
Gibbering cries.
A little welcome for you.
These hideous things that make him behind that door.
Hideous things? So you saw the little creature that escaped tonight?
It pressed its awful face against the window. Don't make me look at it again.
You won't see anything to frighten you when I open the door. There's nothing in this chamber except those steel cabinets around the walls, that iron water pipe above, and this heavy rope that dangles from the pipe. You will find the rope of special interest. I call your attention to the snap hook on its loose end.
No, let me go.
As soon as I lock these handcuffs on your wrists behind your back like this, hook the rope to your cuffs like this. Now, I let you go, nicely tethered.
What are you going to do to me here?
I shall satisfy your curiosity about the gibbering things. You have seen but one. I have many such children.
Children?
Yes. I am their father, their creator. I am their God. I have discovered the secret of life.
Of life?
I have evolved a complex life form from the single cell. Nature required 1 billion years to do what I have done in 10. I am greater than nature.
You're a madman.
Am I? You shall see. The steel cabinets you see around these walls are really insulated soundproof covers for my children's cages. This lever opens the apparent cabinets. Watch. Before you saw the handsomest of my little beauties. Now you can look at them again and 30 of his brothers. Hear them squeal their greetings to you.
No, let me out of here.
Do not be afraid. Their cages are strong. They cannot get at you now.
Please, they're so horrible.
Well, I admit that I have not as yet achieved perfection in their appearance, but I progress. Now, here is my first experiment. It resembles a shapeless sponge, but it's alive. It moves and breathes.
Oh, please.
And here is a little creature that lacks arms and legs. See it bounce its way about? Its brother in the next cage has twice the usual number of limbs. This one has 8 hands. That one has no eyes or ears. And there's one with no head. And here's one without a body.
Stop it!
But they're all alive, Miss Lane. All can move and fast. All have mouths and appetites, Miss Lane. For human blood. Their only diet.
Human blood?
Yes, I keep human cows, Miss Lane, and you ought to become a human cow and feed my children.
Oh, no.
That is why you're tethered here. This chamber is their dining room. I shall pull a lever that opens their cages as I go out this door to safety. They're very greedy, but I will not let them drink too much of your blood, Miss Lane, for now you're a cow and valuable to me. I leave you now to pull the lever. Ah! My throat!
You feel the shadow's hands upon you, Sergov.
The shadow!
Oh.
The shadow is a man would like to close his fingers tight about your neck. As a respecter of the law, he lets you live.
Oh, Shadow.
Unlock your handcuffs, Sergov.
Don't touch me again, I will.
Be quick.
There.
Oh, I'm free. I'm free and I can leave this room. Go where I won't see and hear those awful things.
Yes, go.
And I'll go with you out that door.
Sergov!
The door is locked and closed upon you, Shadow. The lever that opens my children's cages is on this side of the door, and I release them now.
No!
My children do not have to see a man to find him, Shadow. Their greed for blood would lead them to you, and they are to have all your blood, Shadow. You will be dead before this door is opened. Dead! It is now half an hour since that door was closed upon our former friend, the Shadow. My children have killed strong men within 5 minutes, so I think it is time, Miss Lane, for us to view the remains, which will be visible, I imagine. But first I shall reunite you with your aunt.
You're my aunt here?
Yes, unfortunately escaped and told me of her intention to notify the authorities. I was forced to add her to my herd of cows. That herd includes the itinerant lumberjacks and harvest hands who have disappeared in the haunted woods. When fools hear their screams of pain, they think they hear my little screech owl.
There's no word that fits you.
Before I can safely view the dead body of the Shadow, my children must be returned to their cages. And my cows take care of that. Your aunt's stall is behind this door.
Aunt Sue. I
will let her out.
Margot. Oh, Margot.
What a touching reunion. You shall see a great deal of each other from now on, for you will be stable together. My male cattle are in here. Come out, beasts. And don't forget that I hold the usual loaded revolver.
Oh, poor men.
Yes, my male cattle aren't as healthy-looking as you and your aunt, Miss Lane, but they have been here a long time.
They're walking skeletons.
They still manufacture blood. That's all that matters. Fall in line, beasts. You with them, female cattle.
No.
Fall in line.
Oh, come, Margot, come. There's nothing we can do.
You're learning fast, Miss Prentice. Now march, all of you, to the feeding room. You ought to have an easy time tonight. My children have been fed and well. You need only pick them up and return them to their cages.
Pick up those things?
Yes, Miss Lane, and tenderly. Unlock the door. Go in and do as I've told you. Now, you see how tame my cattle are, Miss Lane? You will soon be like them. Hurry in there. Get my pets behind their bars. I'm anxious to come in and pay my last respects.
Your children are in their cages, Master.
Now we shall see. I thought the Shadow would be visible in death. His mental power is gone, but I do not see him.
Can you feel him, Sergov?
Shadow!
Yes, I'm not an easy victim, Sergov. Pick up that gun he dropped, Miss Lane.
Something we cannot see has got him. Give Sergov to us.
Be back, you men. I know how you must hate this devil, but I promise you he'll get justice. Now, everyone leave this room. Everyone but Sergov.
Everyone but me.
You're going to be left alone here. Alone as you've left the others.
No. Do not put those handcuffs on me.
Oh, yes. They're locked behind your back. Now,
No, not that tether rope. Do not hook me to that.
the way you fastened others.
Yes, we can do to him what
Now
he's
get
done
out
to
of
us.
this room, you men. We're leaving Professor Sirgoff with his children.
We'll turn the vampires loose on him.
No, do not open those cages. Do not turn them loose on me. Please, Shadow, please.
You're safe, Sirgoff. The cages won't be opened.
Did you say, Shadow, that those cages won't be opened? That Sirgoff is safe?
He's safe from those things he created. That room will be Sirgoff's prison until the police arrive to take him to another.
Police? Prison. Shadow, you promised us that devil would get justice.
He will. But the law must fix his punishment.
We've been Sirgoff's slaves. His cattle. Those things he made have fastened on our flesh. They drank our blood.
We want no police. We want no law. We want no law. They have no punishment to fit that devil's crime.
We'll attend to Sirgoff.
And we are. You men have suffered here, but you're civilized men. You must abide by rules of order, not by instincts of revenge.
We're no longer men. We're cattle.
Sirgoff has made us beasts.
And there are many of us, Shadow. You are only one.
Keep away from that door.
We didn't want to open the door, Shadow. We only wanted to lock it.
And we have locked it. We have the key.
Pull the lever that opens those cages.
No.
You're too late, Shadow. Listen. Sirgoff's children move fast. They've already reached their father. We've given Sirgoff the justice he deserves.
Well, Margot, Sirgoff's cattle were too many and too quick. But Sirgoff won't put the state to any expense. Your aunt's safe in her home again. And his children...
Those men just trampled him after you finally forced that door. And I'm not sorry things happened as they did. Sirgoff was going to turn those gibbering things loose on me.
Well, he did turn them loose on the Shadow.
Lamont, you haven't told me why the Shadow wasn't killed by those monsters.
Well, Sirgoff made a serious mistake. When he left other victims in that room, their hands had been secured behind their backs and fastened to the tether rope. The Shadow was free. One end of the tether rope was attached to an iron pipe near the ceiling. Well, he took a moment to loop the other end with its heavy hook over the pipe and fasten it. And seated in that swing, the Shadow was well above the reach of the little vampires.
Oh, when you were locked in that room, I was sure it meant your death.
One can never be sure of anything, Margot. You know, when I was invited to your Aunt Susan's, as I recall, I promised myself a quiet, restful weekend.
Yes, I remember.
Now let me introduce Blue Coal's distinguished heating expert, John Barclay.
Thank you, Ken Roberts, and good evening, friends. I'm glad to be back with you again. And this year, with fuel so vitally needed for the war effort, I hope to bring you special information that will help you to heat your home more efficiently and economically. Thousands of tons of coal can be conserved if everyone will give special thought to the efficient operation of their furnace. Operating a heating plant efficiently is easy. And if you will follow a few simple suggestions, you can not only save considerable fuel, but your home will be healthfully heated as well. A clean furnace is number one on the list of important things that will result in conserving fuel. So put your heating plant in good working order. It's easy to clean a furnace. For tools, all you need to do a good job is an inexpensive wire brush and a scraper. You can get these at any hardware store. Buy a small can of asbestos furnace cement. Have all soot and fly ash. Use the asbestos cement to seal up leaks around the smoke pipe where it enters into the chimney. Make sure that the dampers are in good working order and that all furnace doors fit tightly. Remember, a clean furnace conserves coal, gives you more heat for the fuel you burn, and will keep your family warm and healthful all winter long. I thank you.
The Shadow program is based on a story copyrighted by Street & Smith Publications. The characters, names, places, and plot are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Again next week, the Shadow will demonstrate that
the weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The Shadow knows.
Next week, same time, same station, your friendly blue coal dealer brings you another strange and thrilling adventure in the Shadow's daring battle against the forces of evil. Be sure to listen. This is Ken Roberts saying, keep the home fires burning with blue coal.
Well, that's the show for tonight. Thank you all for listening. And again, thank you. And remember, you can find me at Facebook on facebook.com/terror1970, or you can find me on Instagram at Radio Show Nerd, or on Twitter at Radio Show Nerd 1. And if you want to drop me a line, feel free to leave me a comment below, but please be respectful. Or you can send me an email at radioshownerd@gmail.com. Also, check out the actual podcast, Terror Radio Podcast, on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google and Apple Podcasts, etc. Again, this is your host, Keith, a.k.a. the Radio Show Nerd. Again saying thank you. Signing off.